Welcome to the Out There channel, live stream 56. Just do the usual checks. We're trying a new setup, right? And I'll just do the usual stuff now, and I'll get back to you. Lazy Sunday. How's it sounding? Not too loud?
Yeah, it sounded great. It's good.
Should have paused that one. How do I do it from here? Hey, back to the desktop. Anybody out there? Say hello down the side. We got one popping up now. Hey, Jamal. I just killed the music. So we got the new setup going, and it's sitting around about 80% at the moment. So it's looking good. Been getting some strange corruption on the live recordings, even though it looks all right our end, me and Robert's end. It's been putting strange character blocks on, and it sort of bent the screen. So I'm not sure what's going on there, whether Google are playing around with new settings again. Are you there, Robert? Are you with us?
Yeah, I'm with you, Paul.
Didn't quite catch that, so I had the button pressed. Yeah, so this is the first time we got Robert on the screen at the same time as the desktop. Can't quite hear you, Robert. Why not?
Yeah, I just muted
right.
YouTube for now. So, yeah, I can hear you clearly, Paul.
How's that sounding, Jamal? Is it not too loud? Hope you had a good weekend. Well, it's been a long weekend. I had my laptop all set up, and the new GPU was working, but then it decided not to work anymore. And when I booted, my laptop was stuck in VGA, which is like having 240p graphics again, back to the early 90s again. So it wouldn't kick in the Intel GPU. So I've got it set up. We've got Windows 8.1 going now. It seems to be running a lot faster. And this is the first time that we've had everything on the screen at once, including a Hangouts chat going at the same time. So it might get a wee bit longer at this old laptop. See how it goes. So I put out a couple of videos today showing the setup. Let's just refresh it, see how it goes. 100% doing that. So that's live going at the moment. So this is my new setup here. Let's see if it plays the music on it. I'm not sure if anyone's watched it yet. So this is my crazy computer setup now for live streams. So this is what I've got to work with. You hand me down Samsung Galaxy phone, a cheapie, couple $100 or $100 version that my parents didn't want. It looks like it's working a bit better than the last phone I had. So this is where I lay down with my bad back and work the computer. And you can see that I've got a couple of hard drives strapped to the back or hanging off the lid. Various USBs, expansion. So you're hearing that okay, Robert? Or have you got it muted? So this is...
I'm muting and unmuting, yeah.
This is what I call the Borgware, not Alienware. So it's made out of bits and pieces. And, trying to stick it on there with various tape, duct tape, rubber bands. And this is my modification. Blown fan. But apparently the CPU is right in the corner here where the USB ports come off. And I've added a couple of extra heat sinks that goes straight to the CPU. Oh, just good. Underneath the keyboard there where the keys are coming off, I think it is. And the fans down the side here, pretty crappy layout. Gets very hot. So this seems to be keeping it cool about another 10 degrees at least. So I'll go around this side. So normally lay here. And put tape there, make sure it doesn't flip over backwards or knock it. Has to be on top of a bag, and I have to prop it up underneath to allow airflow underneath for chill pad. So just stop it there. That's mostly it anyway. So that's what I'm working with. And that's what I got a Patreon page set up. So we can sort of keep me live on air, I guess. So the other thing was another video that I made up here, which is something strange that happened probably a couple of months ago now. I only told Earl Grey from MUFON about it. He says I was visited. So this one here, I haven't told this story, but I've talked about this tripod light. It's on. Just go back a wee bit. See it there? It's like a bank of LED lights, and it has 8 Energizer batteries in it. Yeah, they should have lasted for ages. And what happened is, one night I rarely ever used it. It should have had at least 3/4 of a battery left in the light system. But I woke up one night, and it's got some lights on the back that flicker up and down. When you put new batteries in, or when the batteries go low, it starts flickering up and down, and you have to push the buttons here right in to turn it on. I'll try and show you. I've got this Runty battery pack that you can buy with lithium ions. It gives you 12 volts out that you use on security cameras. So I can plug that in the slot here. This is where the tripod comes in, because you can't do stuff one-handed. Hang on, I'll just pause. So I've got the battery pack plugged in here. So normally what happens is you push that button in for 5 seconds and it lights up like that, and you get a nice bright light, and you can control the color of it from pure white to more of a yellow color. And these lights here, I woke up were flickering up and down because it had the batteries in it, and then they simply just stopped. They changed colors to like orange and red eventually. So if I turn that off, and see the LEDs go out. And up here you put your clip on your phone. So what happened is they flickered, and it was like 3:30 in the morning. I'd just gone to sleep at what was it, about 3 a.m. because I work pretty late on the live streams. And then the smartphone up the top here that's clipped in, actually it'll go in there somewhere if I clipped it in, suddenly turned on by itself. And I thought, that's strange. And I thought, I suppose the clamp is a wee bit over the power button, but you have to push it in for 5 seconds also to turn it on. So I turned it back off, and I thought nothing about it. I thought maybe the unit's got a problem where when it's even turned off, it's draining the battery. So in future, I'm just going to use this Grunty battery pack, I think. I shouldn't have it dangling like that though. Maybe I need to strap it up and put a piece of cable to hang it off the handle here. So yeah, so I checked the phone yesterday and found the phone was completely flat too, and that was fully charged as well. So both of these devices at the same time turned on and off, and the batteries are totally flat. So it must have been sort of like a paranormal event that happened that night. Kind of crazy. And I tried to rationalize it by saying that maybe the button on the phone got pushed or somehow through the clamp, and the battery pack was having issues. So that played all right, I think. We hit 100% CPU then. So basically what I'm saying is the battery pack had 8 brand new AA batteries in it that were totally flat. And I only used it probably for 5 minutes for testing, and it should last probably an hour before the batteries are flat. And yeah, I just woke up from a deep sleep because I drifted off pretty quick, and I saw those blue lights flickering up and down by themselves, and I thought, what the hell? What's going on? Has it gone faulty? And then, just as I was getting up from bed to go and check it out, the smartphone turned on, and it all lit up, and it was in pure darkness in the room, but because the smartphone come on, it was like a torch. So I thought, oh, that's kind of creepy. And I turned
It's
on my
bizarre.
side lamp and tried to turn on the lamp with the button. Hold it in 5 seconds like I did on that video, and it wouldn't come on. The batteries were totally flat, and I turned off the phone. So I simply turned off the lamp, rolled over, and went back to sleep. But it's always been on my mind what happened that night, which is really strange. And so I only told Earl from MUFON about it, and thought today I'll make a video about it and talk about it 2 months ago. So I'll see if anything else strange like that happens. But I've had batteries die quite regularly in this room, and I've had some paranormal stuff happen over the years. So I've talked about it in previous episodes down here somewhere. What's Jamel saying? Yes, that's very odd. Bit freaky too. It probably would have freaked your wife out there, Jamel. But you hear stories of paranormal stuff happening where TVs keep turning on. So that's a kind of strange one. Now, in our old house, we rented the top of the house off, and the flatties, or what do you call them, renters, said the TV kept switching on by itself, which is a bit hard to do unless you've got a remote control code for it, because as you know, it has a special code in the infrared signal which the TV recognizes. So it's very strange. But skeptics write it off as a blast of noise that turns it on. So I don't know. It's hard to know.
Yeah, it's just got to hit the right frequency, I suppose, hasn't it? And it's anomalous, but I suppose it could happen theoretically.
Yeah. Have you had anything like that happen to you, Robert?
Yes, Paul. In the old house, this was before remote controls and the old tube type televisions,
Yeah.
It happened on numerous occasions then. Didn't I frighten the hell out of my mum?
So was your house haunted?
I wouldn't say it was haunted. No, but there was some strange things that happened there with electrical equipment, yeah.
Right. Didn't you talked about your girlfriend that taught tongues?
Oh yeah, what language that was, I'll never know. There's no language I recognise, but this is at my new place now, the bungalow where I live now. But,
yeah, sometimes you get attachments and the ghosts follow you from house to house. It happened with my sister like that.
Oh, thanks.
But
yeah, it's funny you should say that you've been feeling a bit drained yourself recently, and
yeah,
you just had no energy, and maybe it's draining you as well.
Yeah. Well, I've had, you know how hot it gets in Australia. Well, New Zealand's getting a bit like that now, especially in Christchurch here. 25, 20, and you get cold spots that sort of come and go. They reckon that might be spirit people standing there, and you put your hand in, you notice the difference. But I should save up and get what do you call it? Some of those meters, EMF meters, temperature meters, and stuff, and see if any of those go off. But I know you can get apps on your smartphone, which some smartphones are better than others. You can use the antenna there to pick up EMF through the actual antenna on the phone. Seems to work. Well, some of them are pretty good. Temperature, I don't know if the phone has temperature on them, but you can probably have to get a special meter for doing that sort of investigations, really. Smartphone's okay, I suppose, for doing some basic stuff. So, what else should we talk about tonight? I sort of haven't got anything planned, but I did the paranormal one here, somewhere down here, but I did with the Elf and MUFON. This one here with the ghost on it. Have a listen to some of my paranormal stories and that, if you've not listened to it yet. I'll just copy it. Where's copy address? That's the one. Just make sure it works. How's the sound going there? Was it too loud and crackling and breaking up? I think the system's going all right so far. Fingers crossed. So we're going to look at some UFO topics. Did you have a look at that S4 video, Robert?
Yeah, I did, Paul. I did. It was yes, I hadn't seen it before.
You haven't? Haven't?
Yeah, you done a good job. I hadn't seen it before.
Oh, right.
No. So I quite enjoyed that.
Right.
Because there was only so much you could cover.
Yeah.
I think the video was 30 minutes, 34 minutes long, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, I put the transcript of the original interview at the end and let people decide if they wanted to listen after then anyway. But most people have heard the George Knapp interview. Here it is here. It's for location. Now, you wanted to talk about Bob Lazar. I'm not too sure what you want to cover on that. Is there anything that you disagreed with?
No, there was nothing in particular, Paul. It's just that he's got this upcoming docu film mid-December. Apparently, it's due for release, and apparently, it's going to shed some new light on him, some new evidence of some sort. I don't know what,
Yeah.
but I'll be watching it, but with a skeptical eye.
Well, I didn't think too much of his last movie that he did, and he tried to fundraise a lot of money for his free energy research, was it, or something like that?
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't trust the guy, because when I saw all the errors in that video when he was showing that video at the end with the guy with the magnet spinning around, I knew straight away that the guy was under a high-powered line. You could see the power poles, the 100,000 volt ones in the background. Well, he was underneath it, so he was getting a field from the actual power grid where he was at that was inducing a voltage into the device that he was demonstrating. So it wasn't free energy. He was just tapping into the
a local source. Yeah,
he was just tapping into the field, and you get the other ones that like what's his name, Hutchinson battery, where he crushes up rocks and puts it into a little container. And this guy, I suppose we should search him up. Since we're talking about it, we're just pick topics at random, I guess, and see how we go. John Hutchinson. Not sure you spell his name, actually. see what comes up. Images. Is he there? Have I got the right name? Hutchinson. Free energy, I suppose. Let's type in. Narrow it down. This guy here. He's a bit of a crackpot, but he's quite likable. I kind of like him. He was telling a story that he had all this army surplus, all these old. So you can see it here on this photo here. He's got all this crazy surplus that you can go to auctions and buy transformers and old ham radios and stuff like that. So apparently he was mucking around with his high voltages in the flat across the road, and the apartment opposite the road, a fly screen kept opening and closing by itself. Apparently, was one of the stories, and so she came over and knocked on his door and said, "Cut it out! You're affecting my door." I don't know if it was electric powered or whatever, but it sounds like a crazy.
Free energy.
Yeah, sound like a crazy story. So who we got here? Yeah. How's it going, mate? It's more
Yeah,
nothing.
Corbell. I'm not sure if he's saying that it's Jeremy Corbell that's doing this next
right.
thing with Lazar.
Right.
Same guy who's done the Skinwalker Ranch, isn't he?
Yeah.
Hunt for the Skinwalker.
Oh, we can just switch it up, I guess. But yeah, he was doing a battery. This guy, like in here, and remember he was doing the bowling ball as well. That was sort of lifting up by itself upwards, but we don't know because there was no second camera and there was no far camera in the background where he's actually in the experiment. You can't see if there's any fakery going on, so you only got his proof that was melting and lifting up and stuff. And he does these batteries using silicon type rock, and he was getting voltages from it, which you do because what happens is the metal acts as a crystal, like a crystal radio, and it will pick up any man-made broadcasts and it will turn it back into electron flow. So it ends up being free energy, and the fact that it's picking up all the radio broadcasts that's in the area. So it's kind of misleading as well. So it's not actually free, but you're tapping into the power. So I guess when you absorb the power out the air, that kills the wave propagating further on. So it all adds up. So that's why you got to keep pumping up the output of the antennas of the radios to get further distances, because all objects and things slowly absorb all the radio frequencies, the hills, mountains. So yeah, so we want to look at Bob Lazar's new movie. So let's see if we can find some images. Has it been on Secure Team 10 yet? Promoted yet? So there's Bob Lazar, but nothing. No.
We don't know. I think it's just entitled Lazar.
So that's the one with the Corbell one, isn't it? Like where he goes and sleeps in his house. I think Corbell talked about it. Probably could find. He probably could find a link where he talks about it. I think he talked about it on. What is it now? That Ryan Sprague podcast. What's his thing called? Sky UFOs or something.
Not sure.
Into the Sky or something like that. He interviews him. Oh, let's see if we can find it. Like to give him a plug, I suppose. So Ryan Sprague. He's a bit hard to find. He actually does upload to YouTube. but he does the MP stuff as well.
Bob's documentary sneak preview. What's that?
I think that might be the last one.
Okay.
I'm not sure how you spell his name. Correct there. Podcast. So here we go. Oh, somewhere in the skies. There we go. So I'll just post that link down the side for you. But he interviews him about the Skinwalker Ranch on it. And he loved the movie, even though I didn't think much of it. And he said he watched it 4 times. So
I watched it twice. I think it was a really good introduction.
Do you?
I thought it was a really good introduction to the Skinwalker Ranch. If you hadn't come across it before, it would have been ideal to watch.
Yeah.
But I found, like ourselves,
yeah,
you know, we've done some research on the place before, and we've seen a lot of stuff, and so there was nothing really new.
Yeah.
That was and there's quite a lot left out. And of course, there was that 90 minutes bonus material, which I don't really know what that was at all, because I only had the 2 hours.
Right. So, yeah, it's a good intro, but it was mostly what I found was 80% of Nat's old work. So this
hey guys, Brian Sprague here from the.
I'll just mute it.
Right.
He was in California, but he's from New York and he's going back there soon or already. So this YouTube looks like it's just called Ryan Sprague. Well, to it. Unless he's got multiple accounts. Let me see if we can find.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Well, looks it. Let's see if it.
But he keeps putting insert pie now. I don't know if that's some kind of company, isn't it? And I think that's supposed to be somewhere in the skies.
Yeah.
Is that the name of the doc?
No, that's Ryan's channel name or podcast name. Somewhere in the skies. He interviews various people each month, or I guess, or each week. Let's have a look. Each week, well, looks
I've never seen anything of them.
Haven't you? Oh, there's the link there, so you can bookmark and have a listen.
Okay.
It's like Generation M, new age UFO person that wants to be as big as Giorgio from Ancient Aliens, apparently. He's a big Ancient Aliens fan. And
I tend to stick more with the mainstream.
Yeah, so but he's not too bad. He's getting better.
Dolan's doing a lot of live shows now.
Yeah.
He's knocking out about 2-3 a week.
I'm just trying to find it in the Skinwalker Ranch one. So I haven't got time to listen to. Here it was here. This one here, episode 73. So it's quite a good interview. It's worth having a listen to it sometime. Don't even see what I'm typing. Yeah, I'll just make it bigger. Skinwalker. I'll do. Have a listen to that interview sometime. It's pretty good. But in there, he talks about him sleeping with, or sleeping in the house with Bob Lazar, not sleeping with. Well, that's you never know nowadays.
Yeah.
So yeah. Let's see. We probably could play a wee bit of it, I guess. If we can find the bit. See, he doesn't actually put graphics like I do when I do my stuff. So we got no sort of. We got closed captions. It would help if it had graphics. I'm not too sure where the Bob Lazar chat was, though, unfortunately. So people out there, make sure to click the like button, won't you, before you leave, and come back and watch the rest of the live thing. Here you find out some good stuff, hopefully, or stuff you not heard about before. Lazy Sundays are a bit like that. We sort of cover random bits and pieces. So yeah, I forgot that he doesn't actually produce it like cameras like we do, which is a shame, because he needs to step up his game, I think, Ryan. He needs to do what I'm doing here, pretty much. And he gets a lot more money than I do. Apparently, he was serving coffee in a shop. That's what he does for his main living, and he does the radio show. And he said on his podcast, or he says at the beginning of the episodes, that although it's free for you to watch, it's not free to produce. And if you can donate even $1 a month, blah blah blah, typical sell pitch for Patreon. So if you like what he's doing, then you subscribe to him. And I don't know if he has ads on or not, because I got it turned off. I think he probably has ads. But yeah, you probably get more getting $1 from that person than you would from if you're a small channel like me, then trying to get a couple of thousand views on that episode, because that $1 a month is equivalent to what you'd get for that video.
Yeah.
So if you produce a video every day, technically you should be able to get $30 a month probably on advertising if you got enough people watching, unless you're a really big channel that earns like hundreds and thousands of views like Tyler does. Then you can earn up to $1,000 a day quite easily. So so let's have a look at Bob Lazar again. So we never found out what his new movie was. He's probably got a website though, hasn't he? So let's see. So what's your thoughts on him? Do you think he's legit?
No.
You don't think he's legit? Why?
No. He purged himself from the outset, really, when he lied about his credentials first. Said he'd been to MIT. Nobody in MIT had ever heard of him. There's no records of him being there.
Right.
Stanton Friedman got in touch and said, is there any way that his records could be wiped? And it's no, they're all documented, they're written down.
I actually get
some doubt whether he was at Los Alamos at all. He was never a scientist. I think he just done one. The only thing they could find is he'd done one written paper on science that. People say, "Oh, he must be some kind of genius because, he built his own rocket car." Well, a first-year engineering student could have done something similar to that.
Right. I think I got mixed up. The movie I was talking about before was Dr. Greer's last movie, which was terrible. Not his movie. And what was his last movie? The Bob Lazar one. I seem to get mixed up between the both of them for some reason. Maybe because they look similar. I don't know. But it was Dr. Greer's movie with the fake free energy stuff. So the correction there. No, Bob.
Okay.
Bob is not as bad, but to me, I think he's credible. I think he can be a scientist. He doesn't have to have qualifications. That's my feeling. If you listen,
he can be a man of science. Surely, yeah, I know that. But doesn't have to have a PhD to.
Yeah, like I know lots of things. I've got qualifications to prove it, but I do a lot of other things that I haven't got qualifications on, like
Yeah.
electronics, like opening up laptops and fixing them and
It
soldering.
doesn't make you any less competent just because you haven't got that piece of paper.
No,
I know what you're saying. You don't have to have the credentials.
no. You just got to be able to have the go power to and the intelligence to sort of self-learn and give things a go. If you blow it up, and that's too bad, I guess. But yeah, so it's Greer to me. It's still 50-50.
Lazar.
Yeah, this guy here that we got on the
Yeah,
screen.
you said Greer again.
Yeah. Not Greer, this other guy. That's who I was getting mixed up with. Hey, I'm tired. It's been a long week. I'm not sure. I think we've lost a few watches. It's probably getting late in America or somewhere. Dr. Greer, this guy. That one. Now that guy really annoys me.
Yeah.
The grit.
Yeah.
This one
He's
here.
absolute.
So I was getting mixed up between him and here. Although he's got more here. Now this guy here, I don't like at all, and I think he's a fraud.
Who now?
Greer. This guy on the screen. I think he's a fraud.
I've got Lazar on the screen here.
Is that a wee bit behind? You haven't paused it, have you?
No. Oh, wait there. Have I?
Got to make sure. You got to make sure.
Still see.
You got to make sure the green. I mean, the live has a little red button next to it ticked on, else it's not live. So him, if he wanted to be credible, he shouldn't be putting up Dr. Greer shouldn't be putting up free energy stuff that is clearly fake. So he loses credibility straight away.
Yeah.
And Bob Lazar, on the other hand, has he runs his own company, doesn't he? And in science field and on nuclear and stuff, doesn't he? What's he do for work now?
The last interview that I seen with him was a couple of years ago, and he was apparently fixing washing machines and stuff then.
Well, you know how it is. If he's a leaker, and everybody shuns him, you know what it's like. You're outcast. It's very hard to find work.
Oh yeah,
you know.
I understand. Yeah.
It's you know how the CIA, Snowden said that the CIA have their own trolls that go around and character assassinate people on the web. So it's quite easy to be put in that category where you're sort of character assassinated and you find it hard to make a living and get on in the world. So Lazar
done himself no favors with that story.
Here you go. Lazar owns and operates United Nuclear Scientific Equipment and Supplies, which sells a variety of materials, including radiation sensors. You know how we were looking at that radiation meter, but he does that sort of thing. Radioactive ores, non-reactive elements such as pure silicone, powerful magnets. But a lot of that you can get from China. Equipment such as an egg roll. So he's obviously doing okay on that. In 2006, Lazar and his wife Joy were charged with violating, here we go, federal hazards Substances Act for shipping restricted chemicals across state line. So there you go, they got him on that. probably some stupid red tape sort of thing. The charges stemmed from a what's it say? 2003 raid on United Nuclear's business offices where chemical sales records were examined. United Nuclear pleaded guilty to 3 criminal counts of introducing into interstate commerce and aiding and abetting the introduction into interstate commerce banned hazardous substances in 2007. United Nuclear was fined $7,000. That's a smack in the hand for violating a law prohibiting the sale of chemicals. Sounds like a load.
See, he's not Mr. Squeaky Clean, is he?
Well, that's just he's just trying to run a business, and he sent some stuff. He sent some stuff in a courier across the border to someone that orders something and didn't know about the law there. No doubt. It's probably not even him doing that. That'll be some sort of admin personal secretary that was organising that. Didn't check out.
Yeah, he may have known nothing about it. Yeah. Okay.
They probably have to file some form, send it off to government, get approval to transfer it across the border, and blah blah blah. You know what it's like. Obviously, they paid the fine and just carried on as usual with the business. Doesn't say it was closed down or anything. Components that are used to make illegal fireworks. So basically, explosives. So you can see how they sort of clamped down that with the Terror Act and all that sort of business they have over there. Desert Blast Festival. What's that? Lazar and longtime friend Gene Huff run Desert Blast, an annual festival for pyrotechnics. That sounds cool. Enthusiasts in Nevada deserts. Starting in 1987, but only formally named in 1901. The name was inspired by Desert Storm. The festival features homemade explosive rockets, jet-powered vehicles, and other pyrotechnics. So they do a lot of fun stuff over there. So I suppose that's good for his business, you see. Selling that sort of stuff that they're probably blowing up. So that's what he's doing at the moment, still, I guess. Legal problems in 1990. What's this one? This is where it gets a bit dirty. Aiding and abetting a prostitution ring. Never heard that before. This was reduced to family pandering, to which he pleaded guilty. He was ordered to do 150 stay away from brothels and undergo psychological therapy. So that's the first thing I've heard of that. So I wonder what he's got explanation for that. Running a prostitution ring. 1990. So we're talking about almost 40 years ago now. 40 years ago, yeah. No, 30 years.
28 years ago?
Yeah, almost 30 years ago. So, that's probably when he got out the computer scene, wasn't it? When was the last thing he did in not computer scene, the UFO scene, I mean. So he got away from it all. So could you trust someone that runs a prostitution ring? I don't know.
No.
They call him what do they call them? What they call those guys that look after their prostitutes?
Pimps.
Pimps, yeah. Trying to think the American word for it.
I think that is a pimp.
Yeah.
I think. Never mind.
But yeah, it's kind of strange. That's the first time I've heard that, and I've read it on a wiki page, so I'm not sure where the information comes from. And whether it's been verified, I guess it has been. So moving. I think it was Corbell's movie, so it'd probably be on Corbell's site, why not? I think there's a trailer. We probably could play that on the live stream. Maybe.
Oh, hey.
What have you done? Did you close?
Oh, it's okay.
You closed to YouTube, did
It's
you?
okay. No. Okay.
Jeremy Corbell on UFO Skinwalker Ranch, Bubbless 2004. I don't see any movie trailers. When's that coming out? When's it meant to be coming out? It's November.
December. Yeah.
Inside Area 51, Bubbless new documentary sneak peek. Jeremy Corbell. So let's open up that one and have a look.
Nothing good comes from the UFO field for him. This is a reluctant UFO messiah. It changed his life.
This week, we've heard the contention of UFO researchers that there's a secret government within our government.
Well, there's several, actually 9
it's on third phase.
flying saucers, flying discs that are out there of extraterrestrial origin.
The live interview with the shadowy dentist drew international attention. Portions were broadcast by radio in 6 European countries and in a nationally televised TV special in Japan.
It's called Bob Lazar, Area 51, and flying saucers.
Well, that is it. But it's on third phase of the moon.
It could only be a preview.
Yeah. I know Corbell's got his own. So let's see.
1 hour 43 minutes. This is the one, okay. December, release date, December 2018.
Well, I think you can post it in the side chat. You still got YouTube thing open? Just post it in the side chat like I've done here, and then everybody can get it.
No.
I think I've made you moderator, but you haven't said anything. We have to see if we got a spanner.
So, no, right there. No.
Yeah.
There we go. There's the link.
Right, it's coming up now. So you got
it's there.
Because you got a spanner next to your name means you can paste links, but also you can eject or reject people on the side chat as well. So you're ringing that one. So let's just copy it then. Copy. Not coming up. All right. Are you sure you want to leave? Yep. Go to site. All right. So it's not an actual video. So that's the name of it. Right. Bubbless Area 51 flying saucers. Storyline. It's pretty small.
Yeah, it's Jeremy McKinnon, Lockyer, Corbell, Corbell. Jeremy Corbell. Yep.
It says down here.
Star Bob Lazar. No way.
It may be good. I just don't like the way Jeremy Corbell edits his videos. I find
he was saying it last time.
Yeah, I find the music he puts in the background is when you try and listen to what they're trying to say annoying, and he sort of puts his own lot of his own opinion in there instead of just letting it present itself. You know what I mean? It's all right to sum it up at the end, say a summary, my opinion to what you've just seen. It would be a better way of doing it. I just think he just needs to edit things better. But what he's trying to do is a good thing. I think he's bringing more awareness and trying to find out more facts, which we didn't have previously. So let's see if we can find. There must be a proper trailer. I was trying to find it before. Oh, got to go back one.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the new one. You mean? Yeah. Yeah. There's 3 minutes 7 seconds trailer here on the link that I posted.
Yeah, I think he's got up on YouTube, or he's got it on somewhere else. I'm not sure if he's got a YouTube. I know he's got.
Bound to be.
He's got Daily Motion. I think he puts it up on that. I don't think he actually has a YouTube. Maybe he got sick of the politics. Oh, here we go. Trailer for documentary Bubbless express.uk. Okay.
Go to the toilet.
So that might have a link on their page. So let's have a look. I think it'll be a Daily Motion. So when Wednesday, 10th of October. How long ago was that? Not too long ago, 11 days ago. So where does the link go? Because I know this site embeds it on their own server rather than giving us a link. I suppose we could play it.
Nothing good comes from the UFO field for him. This is a reluctant UFO messiah. It changed his life.
This week, we've heard the contention of UFO researchers that there's a secret government within our government.
Well, there's several, actually 9 flying saucers, flying discs that are out there of extraterrestrial origin.
The live interview with the shadowy dentist drew international attention. Portions were broadcast by radio in 6 European countries and in a nationally televised TV special in Japan. Despite numerous inquiries and feelers, Dennis has remained anonymous until now. His real name is Robert Lazar. He says he was hired to work at an area called S4, which is a few miles south of Groom Lake. At S4, he says, are flying saucers, antimatter reactors, and other working examples of technology that is seemingly beyond human capabilities.
I did not believe that this should be a security matter. Some of it, sure. But just the concept that there's definite proof. We even have articles from another world, another system. You just can't not tell everyone.
It was like a Twilight Zone episode. It just kept getting stranger. The fact that was happening at all was the weirdest part.
It's an older one, isn't it?
Look, it's been 30 years, and all of a sudden you raised it to this level. You know, this is a powerful technology, fearsome technology, and you just don't want everyone to have it. It'll become obvious how to make constructive as well as destructive devices from it. It's my only guess as to why they have never released information. It's kind of difficult once you release the technology to be analyzed and give it to everyone. You can't keep the weapon potential hidden. You really can't. Look, with ET technology, you can literally rule the world.
Well, I am telling the truth. I've tried to prove that what's going on up there could be the most important event in history. You're talking about contact, physical contact and proof from another system, another planet, another intelligence. That's got to be the biggest event in history, period.
And it's real.
And it's real and it's there.
So that's hopefully I don't get a copyright violation. So I don't know if it was loud enough.
To survey a series of interlinking.
So that's the movie coming. No doubt it'll cost $15 to download it.
Oh.
So where do we go from here? I don't know if he's got his own YouTube. I could try and have a look. I think he's on a
Don't
different
think he has.
system. I know. We got something popping up. Looks like he hasn't got his own sort of channel name. It's using that random numbers. Here he is. He's got his own. So that video should have been on here somewhere. Skinwalker, Desert Oracle, Hunt for the Skinwalker. A lot of advertising, obviously. Trailers. Look at the Skinwalker. Skinwalker. Hunt for Skinwalker. He's even got Trump on there. Skinwalker. So where's the Lazar one? Featuring documentary coming 4 months ago, but no recent one. Don't look like it. Can't see it. I'll post his link down the side. So you can go and check his stuff out. But he was mostly using Daily Motion and some other alternative video sites. I don't think anyone trusts Google anymore.
No, Daily Motion can be better. It seems to have less restrictions.
Yeah. Very true. So back to Bob anyway. Not that guy. I don't like that doctor. I did think that he had the right motive, you know. He was trying to get disclosure. Initially, he seemed like the good guy, like he was a doctor. Not a doctor. Greer, yes, he was a doctor, MD, wasn't he? He was a doctor by.
Army doctor, yeah.
Yeah, Greer was a doctor by day, but he was trying to get UFO disclosure. But then it sort of led into him going out into the desert, clanging drums and calling UFOs down, which a lot of them turned out to be other things like balloons or military flares in distance, probably because there was exercise planned further along that he probably knew about. So and he was charging like something ridiculous. What was it now?
Thousands of pounds per head, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And it's a good way to make money, you see, out of people that believe, that they want to believe anyway, or people that have been abducted, trying to seek more answers, I guess. But yeah, that's like that other guy, David Icke guy.
No.
He's another guy I don't like, unfortunately. But a lot of people think he's okay, so I don't know. And then you got what's that guy? Goode? What's his name? What's his
Corey Goode.
Corey Goode, yeah. He
One that fought the Secret War on Mars.
yeah,
The
Stargate.
Secret Space Program and all that.
Yeah. Although some
He's
of what he says may be true, but because it's come out by other people, but what he's talking about is something totally different to what other people are talking about. So
yeah.
it's more crazy, like blue aliens and time traveling and lots of more crazy stuff. But when you got that hacker guy talking about his stuff, he seemed very credible that he come across secret space program, and they had space ship names and crew, what do you call it, logs, whatever. And then he was downloading an image of, I can't remember what it was now. Was it a cigar UFO? And it got halfway, and they found he was connected to a chip.
Oh, Gary McKinnon.
Yeah.
He was born in Scotland, lived in London.
Yeah.
I think he was actually inside the computers for, was it 18 months before he got caught?
Yeah. But back in those days, it's like the War Games movie where they hook into dial-up modems and hook into the slower systems before the fiber internet existed. And basically what he done, he was remote controlling a terminal inside, was it NASA or somewhere like that?
He sometimes he didn't know whether he was in NASA or in the military. It was difficult to tell sometimes.
Yeah.
He's got a very, very good documentary on Richard Planet.
How do we spell his name?
Done by a guy called David Hall.
Yeah.
Richard Hall. Sorry, Richard D. Hall.
Gary McKinnon.
RichPlanet.com.
This guy here.
Documentary there.
So we're talking about this guy at the moment. He was just a kid, wasn't he, when he was hacked? How old was he when he got caught? So, is he 52 years old now? So he's the same age as us guys.
No, he wasn't a kid. He wasn't a kid.
I thought he was a kid.
He also found one page that was labelled non-terrestrial officers. Now, I don't think that was because there was extraterrestrials in the military. I think that was basically because there was some kind of secret space program going on, and they had officers running. Well, interesting man. Suffers with Asperger's.
Yeah, so that sort of puts doubts again on his story if he's got some sort of problem like that, though, doesn't it? So let's have a look on.
No, not really at all. There's no doubt he got into the computers because the Yanks, they wanted them bad. The Americans, they wanted them bad. So
let's have a look at this Rational Wiki. There's a Scottish hacker who, by hacking into 1997 US military and NASA computers,
that's him,
claims to have found evidence of UFO cover-ups and suppression of free energy. Americans have a secret spaceship, I asked. That's what led me to believe some kind of other myrrh that nobody knows about. I guess so, says Gary. What were the ship names? I can't remember, says Gary. I was smoking a lot of dope at the time. Not good for the intellect. So whether or not these claims are true is unclear. Regardless, the US authorities want to extradite and charge him with terrorism offensive and accuse him of causing $800,000 in damage. McKinnon insists that he actually caused no damage and in fact left messages on the hacked systems informing the operators of security weaknesses. He should have actually taken a photograph of him doing it then he would have backup evidence, wouldn't he? For a
Well,
hard
that's one thing I can never understand why he didn't use,
a camera.
excuse me, screen capture software.
Oh, we're talking about old technology back then,
No, they still had that then.
right? For
I don't
hardened
know when it
cyber
was.
terrorist, indeed, on bringing down the United States, it's unusual that he had no more than a dial-up interconnection. So it does.
Yeah.
The charges seem outlandish, is what they're saying here. Somewhat
Yeah.
of recluse, diagnosed as having Asperger's syndrome. So what's that? We should click the link and find out. So people,
It's more of
autism. There you go. Autism, also
it's
known
related to
as autism spectrum disorder, is an inborn lifelong development disability that impacts language, communication, and socialization, among other things. It's often referred to as spectrum because different autistic people may experience different traits in different ways. Repetitive self-calming behavior, need for routine. So basically OCD, basically. Oversensitive. But where's Asperger's syndrome come into it? Because that's the link I clicked.
Yeah, they're closely related, but I don't know how you've come up with autism because they are both different.
Oh, here we go. Since 1944, when Austrian physicist Hans Asperger published his first paper about the so-called autistic psychopathy. Psychiatric community has become increasingly aware that people with autism-like symptoms are not psychopaths. They were once and are sometimes still labeled. Also now know that autism is a spectrum of traits and disabilities. Okay, so it's not too much of a problem, I guess. Having autism just means that you repeat things and
you've only got to listen to him. He's very clever, man.
Unable to handle their emotions. Well, he did actually break down, didn't he, quite a lot and got sick. So I suppose that helped him get off being extracted back to America, which they're trying to do with they're trying to do that with Kim.com at the moment in New Zealand. It's been going on 6 years now. So is there any negative stuff about him? Not really on that page.
No, not so.
His extradition was recently blocked by Home Secretary Theresa May, and he was to stand trial in the United Kingdom. The charges were dropped in December 2012. McKinnon had expressed fears that he would have been sent to Guantanamo Bay. Is that how you say it?
Guantanamo Bay.
Right. So that's where they water torture and all that sort of carry on.
Yeah.
So that one wasn't too bad about him. Didn't say.
I've just put up a link now to his interview on Ditch Planet, which is probably the best interview he's ever done, because he was a bit shy of cameras and what have you, so he never really done that many.
Right.
But this one's a good one, by far the best. That's up there now in the links.
You might need to move over slightly. Remember, you have to go the opposite direction to what's on the screen.
Hold on a minute, though, to get my face in, you mean?
Yeah, and people just seeing
the side of your head. Maybe I just better move the computer. Maybe that would make. And it's not.
That's it. There we go. Almost. Oh, you took it away again.
Oh, what about there?
Well, it's a bit better, but you had it a bit better before. Then, wee bit more. Keep going. Keep going. Wee bit more. Almost there. That'll do. That's a lot better. Now we can see you.
Okay.
Although, really, you probably should get yourself an external camera next, so you can sort of put it on the desk and aim it up to your face, because you're always seen as your top of your head if you.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
That's because you're sitting lower than the camera, you see, because you're trying to read the laptop screen. That's why you need two monitors as well. 2 monitors on your laptop. Actually, I think this one I bought that you saw on the video when I started only cost me 200 New Zealand, I think it was. So that would be like £120, is it, or something like that?
I've got another perfectly good monitor.
Yeah, you can just hook it up. You can even hook it up to your TV if it's got an HDMI, because all the modern laptops since 6 years ago had HDMI that you can just connect to your TV and just use it as a second monitor. You should try it out next time. Anyway,
You make a lovely mess, though.
I don't know if there was any images of what he downloaded. Let's have a look. UFO picture.
No, he came out with no tangible evidence, unfortunately.
Yeah, but if this is what I mean, if he should have been videotaping what he was doing.
He shouldn't.
So it would have been like a backup. Oh, look at this one. That's not a UFO. You can see that's a bird on that one. What's coming up here? Pigeon or something, is it? Oh no.
Oh, why am I? What are you seeing that I'm not?
Oh no, it's not a pigeon. It's looks like a drone. And little stubby wings out the side, probably with propellers. It looked like a bird from this little small window going this way. So yeah, I was just trying to see. So it looks like it was a cigar one, because we've got some images coming up here.
For some reason, I'm still seeing the YouTube page with autism on.
Yeah, it could be a while behind, actually.
Is it lag? I think it is, because my computer's running slowly as well.
Hey, Renee. Thanks for joining us. Haven't seen you around for a while. You've been sick? I don't think I've seen you on the other shows. Martin Willis, I don't think you were commenting on that one. But I haven't been keeping up with everything going on.
Martin Willis, I watch all his stuff. He's really good. Some good interviews.
So what's this one here? NASA's top secret. This, I thought I was going to get a big picture of it. Is that what he's drawn? What he saw on the screen? I don't know.
Don't know. My screen's lagging behind yours.
Well, let's open up that web page and have a look. Disclose.tv. So they already started linking in Tesla's wireless power, but that wasn't to do with the radiant energy. That was something else he was working on. And already we've got a picture of the space shuttle loose tile that come off that they photographed, which Tyler from Secure Team always keeps putting up, and it's just one of the loose tiles. One of the loose tiles that come up, and they had to photograph and try to identify where it come from before they landed, and because they wanted to know if it was in a dangerous spot. Remember, they were getting some tiles. The glue wasn't sticking or whatever it was. What's that popping up? So it looks to me like here they're talking about that being. So here's some of the interviews, I guess. That maybe the same ones that you've put up there. We'll post it down the side because that one might have some interesting stuff on it. So we're going from Bob Lazar to this guy, McKinnon. So what are they saying about him? So he's now in North London. hacked the computers between 2001 and March 2002. So he was hacking for quite a long time then before he got noticed. Hacked
Yeah.
into both NASA computers as well as about a dozen Department of Defense's, Navy, Air Force, and US Army computers. So if he was doing it, you can imagine what the Russians and Chinese were doing.
Well, when he was in there, he said he could see what he presumed were other governments that were also fishing around on a computer that didn't belong there.
Right.
He said it was wide open. He said the security was absolutely bunk.
But if he was dropping hints on all their systems, I suppose he only did that after he found what he was looking for, the evidence of UFOs, because that's what he had a passion for.
Mm.
So, it'd be interesting to see if they ever uncover those FBI and CIA documents on this guy and see what it says about him. Declassify is the word I was looking for.
Oh, they'll have files on him. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Yeah, but it'd be interesting to see what it says, whether it was really what he had actually found was actually true. One day we might find out the truth, hopefully, and get to the bottom of things. Because we want to know about other life in the universe, and we want to know the technology they have and what they know before we die.
That's the plan.
Yeah, but we may not ever get there. We've got too many stupid people in government that sort of don't understand that it's not going to cause a big problem by letting people know that it's actually real after all this time. It might scare the Russians and Chinese, perhaps. I don't know, but I suspect they already know the truth themselves.
Yeah, I think so. I think it could have an awful lot of implications, you know.
Yeah.
I think any disclosure would be partial anyway. And for all we know, maybe they know very little about these things, what they are.
So here we've got a website claiming that his SSP has been identified. So I wonder what YouTube video that's off. Someone's put up something here. SSP confirmation. Is that what the Starship something rather, I suppose it stands for? Oh look, guess who's doing it? UFO man. So we can't believe it then. UFO man. Oh god. So I wonder if he's got any drawings. I'd rather have it come from him. Problem is you don't know what's fake online and what's disinformation. That's the whole problem. So we got something come up with drawings. Tesla. What's that one? Space Pack. Yeah, we're not getting much with that search. Star Trek. Yeah. I don't know what he's doing nowadays.
McKinnon.
Yeah.
He's working for a computer company. He's doing okay.
Let's see, search in the last month, see what comes up. So, Gary McKinnon, dangerous hacker from deep web. So that was posted 5th of October. Gary McKinnon speaks at MUFON Symposium 2017 via Skype. So that might be an interesting one.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Gary McKinnon reads the tweets October the 8th. So has he got his own, is he on Twitter, is he? Reads the tweets from Debbie, Jane. Did Gary McKinnon really find UFO evidence? Reddit. So here's a Reddit one, so normally quite good. We'll come back to that video. We got someone down the side here talking. Was that Renee?
Renee.
Yeah. It just scrolled off. Men in Black shut down YouTube for over 2 years. 2 hours, I mean.
2 hours.
Was it 2 hours? I thought it was only down for an hour. And it was only certain areas around the globe too, I believe.
Yeah, didn't affect me.
We did have a look at that the other night, me and Robert together on a private chat, and and because we're testing out the new setup here before we went live to see if it was working okay, and basically we couldn't find any statement from YouTube apart from the one they put out. Someone asked them if they could elaborate what actually happened, and they said we will be making no more further comment to what's already been published. So that tells me that someone in admin stuffed up. Someone stuffed up big time, and they didn't want to talk about it. I don't know if they got a shutdown button where they can turn off various parts of the network. Maybe some person was meant to shut down maybe the video streaming or something like that while they did upgrades on it, and may have turned off the wrong one. So what are they saying on Reddit about him? Let's have a look. What are your thoughts? I think yes, but have no reason to say so. I think it's one of the most credible cases. He was wanted for hacking into servers. Yep. What he found out could possibly be just planted disinformation. There's just no other evidence to prove the existence of secret space fleet. So they were talking about what's his name, Corey Goode. Where this secret space is knowing like what this guy's talking about. He's talking about crazy stuff.
This guy's much more plausible.
Yes, and that's why I brought him up. Is that all we got on that page? Wasn't much on it.
No.
So that was a recent one, 25 days ago, and people are not talking about it. That's strange. I wouldn't be surprised if what he found out was extremely dated and above all wasn't much. For all we know, government doesn't know any more than we do in regards to UFO. Well, considering a lot of people, whistleblowers, have come out saying otherwise, I don't think that's the case. Who are the credible people that we've come across so far? There was a couple of guys. What's his name? Sabaka. What's his name?
Dr. Sabaka.
Sabaka. Yeah.
Sabaka.
It's a strange name. That's the only reason I remember it. We did that one. His memos talking about crash retrievals. And what was the other guy? I can't remember what it was now that we talked about on that other live. He sounded credible as well. I can't remember what his name was now. It wasn't Sabaka, but it was someone else. Who else would you add to the list that are credible?
As far as crash retrievals go, the first one was Leonard Stringfield.
Okay, so we probably could.
He's passed away now.
We could
But
probably.
he had a lot of inside contacts. He was ex-intelligence himself.
So his name was Leonard.
Stringfield.
Just trying to think how you spell his name. I'm going to spell it wrong. Springfield. See if we can get a picture of him. Don't know what I type, but we'll see what comes up. Linda Springfield. So not quite right. We need a R in there. Lynn. Well, our key's not working. There we go. Is that the one? It looks like an old guy.
I'm afraid your screen is lagging behind what I can see.
We're playing sound. You don't look at the YouTube, but look at the hangouts between us. Is it really lagging that behind? It's kind of strange. It's not normally that far behind. So here we go.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you now. I've got you.
Leonard Stringfield was an American ufologist who took particular interest in crashed UFO flying saucers. He died in 1994. That was the other guy that you said was credible. And anyone else you want to add? Since you've read all the books. How many UFO books have you got, by the way, Robert?
I've got over 100 here.
Over 100. Wow.
Yeah.
You must have good eyes.
And I empty the library as well. That's when I couldn't afford them to buy them.
Have you got the skin?
I like to buy them and keep them.
Did you get the Skinwalker Ranch one written by George Knapp?
No, I haven't got that yet. In fact, I went onto Amazon and I had to look at it. I was just about to buy it, and I actually had very poor reviews, you know. Yeah.
Well, I did give you a link to a downloadable version, but you said you'd read it in paper.
Yeah, it's on the book itself. I'll have to get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing crashed into the moon, as far as I know. He's talking about the blackout on YouTube.
Yeah, that was ST10 stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, security conspiracy.
Another name came up there as well, Ben, about the Aztec crash, and that's controversial.
I thought that was
Frank Scully.
I thought that was debunked. That one, was it?
Yeah, but there's been some new evidence that's blown it open a bit again now. So
was it?
Yeah, it's difficult to say.
Was that the one with the windmill? Was that the one?
No, it was the ones with the
I'm just trying to think which one it was. One where they buried the dead alien or something, so they went there and tried to find it.
Oh no, that was back in 1897.
What was that one called?
Oh heck, you're doing my head in now. No, it was in Texas.
Yeah. Okay.
It's actually supposed to have crashed into the windmill.
I can't remember.
And
I thought maybe that's the one
they got a priest there as well, and everything to give him his last rites, and they buried him up where the crash site was.
Okay, so you reckon the Aztec one's a legit one?
No, I'd say it's a controversial one, but not one that you can dismiss completely.
Was it a crash? Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a crash. Yeah, it's 1948 Aztec.
I thought it was debunked. So this just.
Yeah, it was largely debunked, especially at first. It was pulled to pieces.
Aztec, New Mexico. No, it was New Mexico, not Texas. Aztec one.
No. The Aztec one was, but the one you brought up about the UFO crashing into a windmill.
Right.
That was in Texas, and that was in 1897.
Okay.
The Aztec crash was in 1948. You can actually see there 1948. That's a year after the Roswell crash.
Okay, so we got a website here called the Skeptics Dictionary, UFO hoax. I think there was a lot said about it and put doubts about it.
Yeah.
Hoax was the work of Rarity columnist Frank Scully. Columnist Frank Scully, who was hoaxed by two conmen.
Silas M. Newton and Leo A. Gorber. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Scully liked the hoax so much he wrote a book based on it. The Flying Saucers. Scully claimed, I suppose you own that book. Scully claimed that a UFO had landed in Hart Canyon, 12 miles northeast of Aztec, in March of 1948, and 16 humanoid bodies were discovered at the crash site inside a metal disc that was 99.99, not 100 feet in diameter, and a conspiring military secretly removed the craft and the bodies for their sinister research. No one in the area noticed the crash or military activity, however. With no witnesses, Newton and Gabriel, as they say, could play widely with the truth. Okay. Newton and Gabler, a German name, were involved in oil exploration finance schemes. Their hoax was perpetrated to get investors. They claimed they had built a machine that would find oil and natural gas deposits using alien technology. J.P. Kahn and of San Francisco Chronicle had some of the alien metal tested and determined it was aluminium, or aluminum as Americans say. Kahn's account of phony alien ship appeared in Truth magazine in 1952. Several people who had been swindled by Newton and G came forward. One of the victims, Herman Lader, millionaire from Denver, pressed charges, and the pair were convicted of fraud and related charges in 1952. So, the Aztec story was revived in 1986 by William Steinman and
that's it.
Wendell Stevens in their privately published book called UFO Crash at Aztec. It was revived again in 1998 when Linda Moulton Howe, a UFO and Art Bell mainstay, claimed that she had government documents that proved the Aztec crash. What she had was a rumor 8 times removed from the source, Silas Newton, and eventually ended up in a memo written to J. Edgar Hoover. Newton told George Kumla about 3-foot-tall aliens and their saucer. Kumla told Morley Davies, who took Jack Murphy, and I.J. Van Horn, who told Ruby Fick, who told the editor of the Wiener.Echo in Kansas City, where it was read by the Air Force agent in the Office of Special Investigations, who passed it on to the story of a Guy Hotel. Yeah, to me. He sent a memo to his boss, Thomas. So that's all the information passed through, apparently, all those layers. The citizens of Aztec have seen how Roswell has turned UFO mania into a profitable tourist attraction and have followed suit. Like the citizens of Roswell, they now sponsor an annual UFO festival. So it was a story that they dreamt up to talk about their fake device, I guess.
Yeah, and because it is a skeptical site, you're not going to you're not going to get any open-mindedness on that type of website.
Well,
unfortunately,
but you know, Linda Moulton Howe is often called out.
she's mad as a box of frogs.
Mad as a box of frogs. How about a box of crickets?
Yeah.
You got some funny terms.
Oh,
So
I
here
wish
we
she'd
go.
stop blinking.
Yeah. She's probably got OCD or something, huh? You reckon?
Mm.
So there's a lot of sites here talking about it. Bad UFOs. They're sort of kicking it down. If there were wolves, it would be a different story. And other witnesses say, "Oh, I saw some flash in the light that time, and a boom sound," that would add credibility, as well as the government documents, then it would change it completely around, wouldn't it? So, but in this case, there's no witnesses. Although I'm surprised that no witnesses has come forward that is actually another hoaxer to get his name in the limelight, so to speak.
Yeah, they'd be very elderly now. There was a couple of elderly witnesses that claimed that there was a crash there and 2 police officers turned up around about the same time as the military. For one, a believer of the story is Stanton Friedman, who isn't normally easily.
He believes this?
He believes in the Aztec crash, yeah. Yep.
Why does he?
Well, he's reviewed the evidence. The original book, as I said, Frank Scully's book, was ripped apart, torn to pieces. But maybe unfairly so. I'd like to do a little bit more research on that potential crash myself. But it's the newer book's out now. I don't know what that was.
So Stanton Friedman wrote a book on it, did he?
No, nobody came to it.
Truth about Aztec UFO crash. Doesn't mean he believes in it. He may tell the truth about what really happened. What's this?
No, that's just his lecture, Aztec.
Racist and often hard to decipher lecture at Aztec 2003 about Roswell and NJ12. Why was it racist? I never would have thought Stanton was any form racist, because if you look at him, he looks like he
is Jewish.
Yeah, he looks like he comes from a foreign sort of heritage himself anyway, so there's no reason for him to be racist.
No. See, this is the book that I want to get. That's the one there. You got it at the top. Scott and Susan Ramsey, was it? Suzanne Ramsey, yeah. He's done a really sensible. Look, Stanton wrote the preface to the book. I don't know where you've gone now.
Well, I've gone to that book, Aztec UFO.
Oh, sorry, yeah, you have, yeah.
Preface
by Stanton Friedman, yeah.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
$17. Whew.
How much?
17.
17. I couldn't get it that cheap at the time. That's because I tried to get one from the UK, and it was about 30 quid.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Foreign, $30. Shipping and handling.
Yeah.
The shipping and handling is twice as much as the book. How crazy is that?
Yeah, I know. It's madness. If you try and buy it off Amazon UK, it's about 35 quid. And okay, the postage is only £2.99, but you're still not winning.
No.
And that's why I haven't got that one.
All right. So we sort of got off track here. So
Yeah.
we sort of bounced around a bit there. So who's out there still watching? Have we lost Rene? Rene's gone because he likes conspiracies, and we're not really much into him.
No.
We're into evidence.
Where possible.
I don't know if Jamal's gone to bed. What's the time now? He normally goes to bed at 12. So it must be almost close to his bedtime. So there was another link here, the MUFON one. So let's have a look at that one. Back on to McKinnon. So that one might be a good one to watch. It's a year old via Skype. We could watch probably a clip of it. Who put it up? The Void. So it's not on the official site. I'm trying to copy the link. I wonder if he'll ever go to America, this hacker, whether he'll be arrested once he goes into the country.
Yeah, he will.
They haven't pardoned him completely then. Is that playing sound?
Hi,
no,
thanks, Joe. Are we on? Are we nice and clear?
They just reversed the order to have him extradited, didn't they? That's all.
So let's have a...
It was only because he'd seen the best specialists in the UK, and they said if he was allowed to be extradited and he was stuck in an atmosphere like that, Guantanamo Bay, he wouldn't survive. He'd almost certainly commit suicide. So the British, for once, stood up to the Americans and said, "No, you can't have him."
So here he is on Skype. We'll just have a listen.
And on paper, at least, I was facing 70 years in jail, which was a far cry from 6 months community service. So that was very shocking. At the time, they announced their intention to extradite. The extradition treaty between the UK and the US required that evidence be produced that strongly supported the allegations before a UK citizen could be taken to the US. US citizens were protected by the Constitution, and strong evidence was also required to extradite them. Unfortunately for me, my case, amongst others, it was at a time when hacking was a big problem, and my case and others had catalyzed the US and the UK into arranging an entirely new extradition treaty, one where supporting evidence was no longer required to extradite a UK citizen to the US, but you guys were still protected by the Constitution. And this necessary imbalance, as one of the architects of the treaty once called it, still exists to this day. Going from 6 months community service to the thought of the rest of my life in a foreign prison was obviously a major leap and a terrifying one. The US authorities called my actions the biggest military computer hack ever, which is patently untrue since there have been a few viruses that got into many more computers than I did. I got into less than 100, I think it was about 97. But the real bottom line here was the damage accusations. I was accused of damaging every PC that I was on and told that the amount of damage I'd done to each PC was exactly $5,000 worth. And that happened to be the magic figure necessary to support an extradition request. So I realized I was being fitted up for the damage.
You reading that?
I knew I hadn't done any damage, but you can't prove a negative. Under the new treaty, there was no burden of proof for the US. They just had to state your crime and your name. So it was looking very bleak, very bad for me. 2 years went by without me hearing much more. This was due to the treaty having to be ratified by the Senate. For some reason, they were dragging their heels, which was odd since when I'd read the draft of the treaty, it was actually written in US English with American spelling, which was kind of telling. I lost my career in IT due to this, so I went and got my forklift license and got a job in a local luggage warehouse. I then lost this job due to all the publicity. Lost the room I'd rented because the landlord didn't like all the press hanging around. Lost my girlfriend of 12 years, so I was feeling pretty crappy, to understate it hugely, and spent those 2 years very down, unemployed. In 2005, I got another job, strangely working for EDS, Electronic Data Systems, a large American company. I finished my first day and then made my way home. And as I was walking down the road to my front door, 3 gigantic men approached me, big burly men, identified themselves as the New Scotland Yard extradition squad, and escorted me up to my room that I was renting in a shared house. They insisted on taking my computer, even though they could see I had no internet in the house. They informed me that I was a fugitive from US law, which I thought was kind of strange. How can you be a fugitive when you're not trying to escape? You know? Once again, like, the logic of international law enforcement had escaped me, but there was no actual escape for me because the officers drove me to the police station. I submitted to a DNA sample. You're told if you refuse that, they just keep you in a cell until they get permission from the high inspector. I was to appear in court the next day for my bail conditions to be set, and this was to be in court for an extradition hearing, not the actual criminal trial. I wasn't given the opportunity to wash or change my clothes, so I walked into court looking like a complete scruff bag, and I could see the distaste on the face of the judge, or perhaps he always looked like that, I don't know. The US asked for a £10,000 bail, and for me to have to sign on at my local police station every single hour, which was impossible. My local police station was half an hour from where I lived, so I'd either have to get no sleep or sleep at the police station. Luckily, the judge saw that this was a nonsense request, so I was required to sign on at the police station each evening, eventually. We also got the bail dropped to £5,000 since I'd lost my job. My parents fostered children for a living, didn't have any savings at the time. Excuse me. My bail was paid by friends and family, all contributing what they could. I'll go over the rest of the events in less depth, since it's just a chronology of court hearings and decisions. It's kind of like the boring bit, the very depressing but boring to retell. In 2006, I had my first extradition hearing, and the judge ruled that my extradition could be allowed, but the final decision was to be made by the Home Secretary, who also decided it was fine to send me over there without any evidence of damage. The US authorities started to play dirty, saying that if I didn't come over of my own free will, then they'd give me the maximum 70-year sentence once I was over there. My solicitor was told by Ed Gibson, who was the attaché at the US Embassy at the time, that they wanted to see me fry, which was, of course, a reference to the electric chair. They also threatened me with imprisonment in America under Military Order Number 1, which means a secret trial with a jury of military personnel, no opportunity to speak to the press. And they also informed me I'd be allowed no visits from anyone. So they're putting the pressure on, which the DOJ, as you may or may not know, it always does. In 2007, we went to the High Court to try and overturn the decision of the Home Secretary to allow the extradition, but the High Court refused to do so. And then in 2008, we went to the House of Lords, but they also refused to overturn the decision. So the next avenue was to go to the European Court of Human Rights. And we lost the appeal to go there, let alone actually be heard there. Later that year, I was doing an interview on ITV, and after the interview, quite a few people contacted ITV to say that they thought I was on the autistic spectrum, that I should get diagnosed by a professional to see if this was the case. I didn't like being told I may be on the spectrum, and I was far too depressed to welcome people analysing me and poking around in my brain. But I went along with it since everyone was advising me to do so. And ultimately, I was diagnosed by 5 or 6 of the top people in the UK. And they all agreed that I had Asperger's and was on the spectrum. And as I said, no one likes being diagnosed as having a syndrome of any kind, but it did explain a lot. People had always thought I was a little bit weird and kind of robotic ever since school. So now at least I had some kind of explanation for that, something to blame it on. And it turned out that having Asperger's helped with the case as well, because it's a medical condition. since my actions were due to my hyperinflated sense of truth and justice, which is apparently quite common in people with Asperger's. A normal person would have broken the law in the way that I did to find information on UFOs. It was a very extreme act. I can see that now. In late 2008, we appealed to the new Home Secretary, but she also had no sympathy for my situation and said she would allow the extradition.
For years.
And then in 2009, we had a
Must have
judicial
been
review.
mental torture for him.
And we found out Crown Prosecution Service, was like the English Department of Justice, that the US authorities had no evidence whatsoever I'd done any damage. It was pure hearsay. Yet the CPS still refused to prosecute me in my own country, which is what I was asking. I wasn't asking to be let off and go scot-free. I wanted a UK trial, basically. Excuse me. We then asked to appeal to the Supreme Court, something we didn't have when I was first arrested. We were refused leave to appeal to the Supreme Court. And then in late 2009, the Home Office agreed to put the extradition on hold while they looked at our medical evidence. But they said they'd received assurances from the US authorities that all of my medical needs would be met in the US prison. That statement was patently untrue, since US jails have a very bad record when it comes to looking after mentally ill inmates. There's lots of reports that support that. In December of 2009, we submitted a new High Court appeal to challenge the extradition, and in January we were allowed the new judicial review. In the spring of 2010, the new Home Secretary, Theresa May, she agreed to put the extradition on hold again while the new medical evidence was looked at. And in the summer of the same year, Prime Minister David Cameron and President Obama mentioned my case on television, hoping that they could work together to find a suitable solution. And in September of 2010, we finally managed to get a review of the extradition treaty itself. Baroness Patricia Scotland, one of the people that helped push the treaty through, said herself that the treaty was necessarily imbalanced due to US citizens being protected by the Constitution. And David Blunkett, who had signed the treaty in the UK, admitted that we might have given too much away. In the spring of 2011, on a visit to the UK, President Obama said he'd respect any decision made by the UK judicial system, which was good to hear. That year, we had growing support from the Conservative Party, which is like your Republicans over here. And apart from a few noble individuals, the Labour Party, which is like your Democrats, were absolutely useless and had no qualms sending me across the pond. By this time, I'd been severely depressed for years. I was on Prozac. I was really rarely leaving the house. I'd also bought enough potassium chloride to kill myself with. Rather than facing 70 years in a foreign jail, potassium chloride is the third chemical used in the triple set of chemicals for lethal injection. As far as I was concerned, these people wanted to see me fry or see me rot, and I wasn't going to let them control the terms or the method of my demise. In 2012, I refused to see the government-appointed doctors. I'd already been assessed by the top independent people in the land and saw no reason to submit to further tests, especially since the pair of doctors the government wanted to use had a track record of getting the results the government wanted, you know what I mean. And finally, on October the 15th in 2012, Theresa May announced her decision to block the extradition. My family, my girlfriend and I, we cried like babies for it seemed like hours. Just, pure relief, 10.5 years worth of tears just running down our faces. There was still the possibility of a UK trial, which is what I've been campaigning for this time. In December, on my mum's birthday, the CPS, the Crown Prosecution Service, announced that there would be no UK trial, and the ordeal is finally up. So that's the decade-long legal battle, the chronology of events. But I think it's also important to give you a very brief history of me and why I decided to hack into these systems. I was born in Glasgow in 1966. I had no siblings. My parents broke up when I was 6. Spent another year living in Glasgow, living with my dad, before going down to London to live permanently with my mum and stepdad. My parents always encouraged the use of imagination and creativity. So I was quite a self-sufficient child in terms of play and recreation. I was always asking questions about the stars, the moon, and the other planets. And this fascination just grew as I got older, always maintaining a sort of layperson's interest in astronomy and physics and all things space related. I did have one UFO sighting myself, just the one. It's the only time I've ever seen something with my own eyes in the sky that I just couldn't explain. I was in my bedroom, that was at the top of the house at the time. It's about 11 or 12, I think, just looking up at the sky at dusk. I saw this glowing red light just zooming from my very high extreme left, going at a massive arc right across the sky to the horizon on my right. But it wasn't traveling in a straight line. It was really jiggling. It was like brownie in motion, doing lots of seemingly random wiggles as it followed this course. It was a very strange thing. I mean, yeah, if you had been flying in that thing, I would have felt you'd just be thrown around like a rag doll, but who knows? When I was about 12, I joined BUFORA, the British UFO Research Association, which is still going strong today. The extension of an interest in the stars to an interest in the life that may live on the planets around those stars is unnatural. The thought that someone may be visiting us was extremely interesting, extremely interesting. Of course, as a boy turns into a young man, he develops other interests, and my passion for science and strange phenomena was...
I'd actually forgotten about his own UFO sighting.
Other aspects of life.
Yeah, but that could easily have been a mile balloon, because they're saying it was wiggling all over the place. So
yeah, we
haven't got a video of it. So
no, of course,
it
so
could be
we
mistaken.
can do on that one.
So that's quite a good interview there.
It says, yeah.
So the link's on the side there. I'm not sure how much we should play. I'll play a wee bit more of it.
I left school and spent years doing different jobs, from labouring to hairdressing to office jobs, factory work, warehouse work. I spent about a year in each job looking for something that could hold my interest. As my dad always
said, and the story's
most
quite
jobs
well
aren't
documented.
son.
It's
That's why
easily
we're here to do them.
it's easily found. If anybody wants to catch up, play to
Well,
it.
you can see he's well spoken.
Oh, he is. He's an articulate man.
Yeah, he just runs it straight off his head. So he doesn't stutter or have difficulty expressing himself or saying certain words like we do. Well, I do.
No.
But he's definitely intelligent.
Asperger's is they do tend to have people with Asperger's do tend to have hidden talents, and although he says what he did with the hacking business wasn't that difficult, I think most people would have found it difficult. They have more social problems than anything else. They don't mix very well, tend to be loners. Well, he was. Spending
so
night
self-taught programming. Looks it.
Yeah, basic, and then in assembly language or machine code. And if you're that sort of person, then you'll know that you end up being the one that all your friends call for help. Their computers go wrong.
That sounds like me. It sounds very similar to what I was doing.
Still happens to this day. Very annoying. And then one day someone suggested I should try and get a job in computing, which weirdly I'd never thought of myself. Not having any formal qualifications or experience.
Yeah, I'm certain he's working in computers now, but I'm not sure if he's allowed his own internet connection at home. I don't think he is.
A long time ago.
Probably not.
And as time went on, my
he's on
experience grew. I was
now,
eventually
so
contracted doing network installations, maintenance, troubleshooting, and eventually systems administration.
This is Skype, is it?
One of my jobs in 93 or 94, I got my first look at the internet.
I can see the
using the Mosaic
looks
browser.
like his bedroom or loft or
I was
something
amazed
like
that we could view text and images on computers on the other side of the world. It's fantastic. I knew it'd be a big thing in time to come, and I definitely wanted it in my house too, not just to work.
Yeah, it may have been a probationary period he had to serve.
But, that's a rumor that's true, but apparently there's that. I got my first dial-up connection in 95. By then we had a variety of search engines, no Google yet, and millions of websites, so it had already become a useful resource. And the number of UFO enthusiast sites was astounding, so many of them, I could hardly believe it. I had a lot of catching up to do, so whenever I could, I'd browse the net, reading up on UFO history and how the phenomena had grown over the years. Around this time, fuel prices were very high in my country. We had cases of elderly people in the UK having to choose between warmth and food. We called it heat or eat, heating or eating. And many of them died due to hypothermia because they couldn't afford to pay their fuel bills. And it's a growing problem to this day. In 2015, 15,000 people in Britain died due to so-called fuel poverty. 15,000 people. And one subject I'd read a lot about in connection with UFOs was the free energy. A power source that was virtually unlimited, output more energy than was required to operate it. They call them over-unity devices. And it's not a mystery, by the way. Everyone has an over-unity device in their home. It's your fridge. The average refrigerator is about 3 times over-unity. And because the heat it puts out, you can't make the heat it puts out with the electricity that goes in. A very well-made fridge, like a science laboratory fridge, can be up to 5 or 6 times over unity. Interesting fact. So although you can't create
or destroy, he's quite stingy in some of his opinions, though. As in, doesn't believe man went to the moon.
So in my mind, these lines of thoughts converge.
So they've never got through the radiation belts.
Been hidden from us, hugely unfair.
So they didn't have enough computer power to land anything on the moon. And also he believes that 9/11 is an inside job as well. So I know a lot of people believe in those two
probably
things.
tapping the 0-point energy that I'd read about. Literally pumping electrons, from the
I'm
fluctuations.
pretty convinced we put man on the moon.
Crazy stuff. So why didn't we have this technology? Many countries around the world had a serious interest in UFOs, even detailing in their Air Force's instruction manuals how to engage one and how to report it. We had the famous Roswell case where bodies in a craft were supposedly recovered. So why didn't we have amazing flying vehicles and free energy for everyone? Why would you keep that from people? Elitism. Obviously, it's not your standard radar installation that monitors the skies for UFO tracking. And it's not your regular army that goes out and recovers crashed UFOs. As everyone here knows, these projects are special access and secret compartmented. And if there are any so-called disruptive technologies, they end up in the hands of a relatively small group of people, probably in the 10,000 or less, I guess, rather than the public at large. And secrets are never good in any relationship, but secrets kept from the people and the state by forces unknown are the worst kind of secrets. So I started to wonder, would it be possible to seek out the truth of the matter via the internet and by using my networking knowledge to track down these unknown forces and get a look at their data? To many people, this just seems like a mad idea, but to me it was a noble cause and worth looking into. But it's a big problem. How do you track down a secret group of elitists coveting recovered alien technology that probably have their own quantum computing network and time travel machines by now? Who knows? Would they even have data on the internet? Well, you don't know until you try, but where do you start?
So that's the thing. If it was set Black Ops or top secret, they certainly wouldn't be connected to the regular internet. That's my feeling. So
yeah.
He sort of nailed the point there. How would he be able to hack into the secret group? You normally, like the terrorists or Bin Laden, he kept off technology because he knew it could be used to track him.
Yeah,
and send a cruise missile his way. But
it makes sense because there's always somebody out there better than you, no matter how well you try and disguise your identity and your location.
Yeah, but also if you got information that's accessed via the internet, there's always going to be someone that's going to better break in and get it.
Yeah,
like this guy just did. But could there be the information he got was like make-believe stuff on NASA's?
Well, I don't know. They didn't seem to take it too lightly, did they?
So why go to the extreme of putting up the damage charges so they could extradite him? So it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And if he was hacking for them for a couple of years or a year,
No,
And he left
it was, yeah,
messages.
it was in between about 18 months. Well, he said he did, yeah.
It doesn't add up. I think if he left messages, they need to block their holes in the system.
Mm.
And why didn't they?
Mm.
And they would have certainly moved off the information, off the access from the internet. I guess it's a bit hard to understand, well, unless you technically minded, but to me it sounds a bit iffy. I reckon, like he said, they'll have their own internet. It'll be separate from our internet, and they have their own device that can access their. It's like the dark web. Like the dark web, you can't hack into the computers on the dark web. So it would be like a dark web address, probably called Pussycats or something, which they log into and access the information or chat with each other. So
last year,
more like that, I'd say.
Yeah,
but it's still an interesting case.
Sorry. Yeah, it is a very interesting case, yeah.
So he's blabbing on a bit here about the internet and hacking it. Now he's talking about the low color, low res.
Low resolution,
yeah. Hey, Rene, you still with us? People come and go. I think we got up to 8 people, but no one's upvoted us tonight. Okay. I'm not sure how the recording or the sounding, because it's on a complete new setup. So hopefully it's all right.
We won't know till we play it back, will we?
It was doing some weird corruption last night's test, so I hope it's not doing that.
See.
But the CPU's been really good. We've been peaking up to 100% sometimes, but it's not been too bad.
Okay. Something.
But I can't get over that he hasn't drawn what he saw. You know what I mean?
No,
if it was me, I'd say, this is what I saw before it went down.
He was asked, I think it was a BBC News interview, he was asked why didn't he use screen capture software, and he just said he was so stunned at the time. This picture of the UFO was rolling slowly down the screen, and he couldn't really believe what he was seeing. I suppose it's just like you maybe see something and you have your mobile phone in your pocket with a camera, but you're just in shock. But then again, he was looking for that kind of thing, so he should have been prepared for it. I don't know. It's a difficult one.
So you reckon he doesn't believe in the moon landings?
He doesn't believe in the moon landings. It's on that interview, and I forgot to put a flaming label on the links I put up there, so no one's going to know what the hell they are now until they click on them. But never mind.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
I know better. I know better for next time.
It doesn't work like Facebook or Twitter, where it puts up the title in a thumb.
No, I thought it would, but it didn't.
I don't normally post what I type either, but if people are watching the stream, they'll know when it comes up on the chat what it's related to, though.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I gathered that. I'll just mute this while I go to the toilet.
Okay. So what doesn't he believe in? Space warships. Not that one. What are you saying, Rene? What are you talking about? You've been on Secure Team or something. There was a sky matrix of a perfect triangle in the sky. They said it was caused by HARP. You sure it wasn't skydivers? When does this come out? Yeah, we're going to look at some stuff I looked on, some UFO stuff I looked at. And it's just that Robert wanted to bring up Bob Lazar tonight, and we sort of skipped from person to person, talking about Gary now. We started talking about Dr. Greer and Free Energy, and we sort of ended up with Gary. So I've just trying to find Don't Believe.
Oh,
Don't Believe.
yeah. It's on that guy. Oh God, yeah, Richard Hall interview I put up when he goes into the moon landings, and
yeah, I was just trying to see if there's a list, but it's not coming up. I suppose we should just look at some UFO stuff now.
Okay.
But yeah, the hacker's interesting. He's an interesting guy.
Yeah. Are you getting that occasional interference like I'm getting now, Paul?
Can't hear anything. Is it on YouTube?
No. No, YouTube's not doing it at the moment, is it?
What's it sound like?
Just a fuzzy noise. It doesn't last long.
That might be because you're getting the sound through my mic rather than through Minicam, and it has a different noise cancellation. It has its own version, and you're probably hearing the fans that don't get cancelled out. So you might be hearing the static noise of the fan. So Rene was talking about a triangle. I'm not too sure. You'd have to post the link, Rene. Just don't put HTTP in front, and I think it works. Or you can put the V equals and the number, and then you can post it in the chat. So, if you remember, we're talking about the Paris UFO.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't know much about this.
Let's see if I can find the link. You didn't reply to my. Let's see if I can find it. A few days ago now, I think. Oh, here we go. I'll post up the link. To the reply. So that's the culprit video, which is just before the screen. Now, remember I posted a comment to him. Here it is here. Asking him for date, time.
Yeah.
And he's replied without the flight number. 10th of October, 6:25 a.m. Flight to Paris. But it doesn't say whether that was when the plane left the airport or when the sighting happened.
Yeah.
And I've asked him, still lacks info, flight number, and what time spotted in the flight. So was it 6:25, which is what I just said, and he hasn't replied. So I plugged it into
Makes it
Plane
more
Finder.
difficult.
Where's the downloads? It's on the wrong screen. Oh. Yeah. So I did a few snapshots, live bits. Where was it? So the satellite. Nope. Thought I had it in here. Contrail, there it is. So that's the copy of the message. I took a snapshot just in case it got deleted. So first of all, I had a look on Plane Finder, which was the first one. 1608. Just trying to get my head around the times here. I think that was the first one. It's just a look. Anyway, we knew it was on Ryanair, and the only one that goes to Paris is this one. Was it that one? Hang on, is that Ryan? Oh, no, it wasn't this one. That was the closest one for the time, and from Dublin, which landed close to Paris, but not actually at Paris. So here it was, it landed here. And there's Paris there with all those planes. You can see how many planes in the sky at the 10th of the 10th, 6:30 a.m. And this plane is over England. There it is here. And that's the path it's got to go. So it wasn't over the channel at all, as claimed. So I'm just trying to question if that was his plane, then some information is not adding up. And you can see it could be any of these planes that could have formed that contrail. In the video, it's going in the opposite direction. So it's going to be one that's flying away, like over here. But there's not too many flying in the opposite direction, as you can see on the map. Here's one coming towards them here, right over London. But until we got a flight number, we can't really check. And here's one that goes to Paris, but it's not Ryanair. It's some Dublin airline, but looks like it's got the clover, 3-leaf clover on it. So this one goes straight to Paris. And you can see here, this one's not over the channel, but it's over the RSC. And this one here looks like it could be the culprit, that one there. This one fits better, and it's not Ryanair. And that one flies straight to Paris, as you can see here. Right. And that's also on the same date, 6:30 a.m. So my guess is it's more likely to be that one, and Ryanair may be wrong. I don't know. Maybe that's why he's not giving me the information. Maybe he's lied.
Well, I just don't understand what's so unusual about a contrail anyway.
Yeah, but here's a snapshot for the time and date, and you
Yeah.
can see this is all the planes that are flying to or from Dublin. So that's 18 planes that flying to or from, and that was the closest one, which is right over England here, which is the same one I was talking about before, which doesn't quite land at Paris. It's just outside Paris. What was the location? What'd they call it? Buvarus. So you say that? So that's a Ryanair one. So it could be that one.
Yeah.
But you'd have to look on the other map, and there was a one that I was just saying that was flying in the opposite direction. There was a load of planes up. So that's the same map with all the planes just from Dublin or going to Dublin. And that's the plane with all the planes on the map. All the extra planes, and there's a heap. But it wasn't over the sea. And that one fits it the best. It's right over near London.
Yeah.
And this one here goes straight to Paris. And this was also a list of planes leaving or flying to Dublin, Ireland. So that's all the planes. So there's 2 planes from Dublin that's flying to Paris or close to Paris. And that's that one. Oh, wrong direction. Or that one. That one. So that's the same one. That's planes flying to Paris, I think, or flying from Paris. So some of the information doesn't quite add up that he's told the papers. And it's a bit suspicious why he didn't tell me what the flight number was. So these would have flight numbers here. Flight number FR22. So we could pin it better. But obviously it's another plane contrail. But I'm the only one that's asked for the information and done an investigation on it. But if you read his page, where is it going? Here. You can see the plane's definitely flying away, and it's quite high up. And there's no way we can see if it's over a channel because it's a big, long cloud.
Yeah.
And you can see it's sunrise because the sun's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a sunlit plane contrail flying in the opposite direction.
Blanket of cloud there.
And if he filmed it the proper way, we'd have a lot more detail and able to zoom in better. But a lot of these people here, if you have read the comments, this is indeed a strange footage. Strange, sure. I'd like to enhance your footage. 3rd phase of the moon. May I share your video 6 days ago? They didn't do any analyzing. Only I did analyze it. They didn't even ask him what date and time it was. Or the flight number. These guys are a joke.
No, they're not going to be interested in the truth, are they?
Could we use your video on Daily Express? So how many subs has he got out of it? Not many. So no one thought much of his video bollocks, but
No. It's a
looks
contrail.
legit. Looks legit, but naysayers will have had to reply to that one. I said, yeah, it's another jet, sunlit contrail. Don't be fooled so easy.
Absolutely.
So people out there don't know what a UFO versus a plane contrail is, which is a bit sad. So what other rubbish has the guys been putting up since we've been talking a couple of last days? Security. There was a couple of things that he's put up that's laughable, and that was the internet one, Google going to YouTube. So what have we got here? Artificial moon, which we talked about last night.
God, yeah.
Which is just a story going around that China wants to build a massive light that looks like a moon. I'm not sure how they're going to hang it. It's obviously going to use helium or maybe hot air to keep it up. I don't know.
And what's the drama with that anyway, really, to be honest? Okay, it's novel.
Yeah.
That's about where it ends.
Yeah, it could be a tourist attraction. Yeah, they could put LEDs that light up on the outside and advertise on it. But this one here about the real reason for the internet going down, he reckons it's because of an impact on the moon, which is laughable, and a lot of people making fun of it all. Like Scott Brando has put out a few things on it. Let's have a look. Scott. So here we go. He put a funny animated gift. So he's put out something new. UFO spotted on Google Maps, and there it is there. And he said it's a bird, like these ones here.
Yeah. Agreed. Could easily be.
Yeah, it looks like a bird. But we looked at some of those, the other live that we did a couple live streams back, was it? Okay. But he put out, what's he saying here? He put out this one on the Ryanair, Dublin to Paris. He's put a question mark because we're not too sure. So maybe even Dublin's wrong, because that's what I was searching on. But I never found any other plane that sort of matched his time frame over the channel. But we'll see if he answers, and we can re-look at it.
Yeah.
Moon hoax debunked. Oh, here he is, taking Mickey out of security. Hang on. He's added his own sound to it. Hang on.
YouTube was basically at the request or at the demand of the U.S. YouTube was taken offline, was basically at the request or at the demand of the U.S. government or others due to something happening with our moon.
So I don't know if you had YouTube unmuted there. but it's quite hilarious. He had his own moon object crashing into it.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
You have to listen to the blurb that he put on it. Without the sound, it's not so good.
Okay.
So here's why Secure 10 is just a hoax and conspiracy theory promoter who fools his audience. According to him, the latest YouTube takedown is related to something that hit the moon. He means YouTube tried to censor what happened on the moon. That's Tyler, obsessed by clickbait. So, yeah. And that sums up that one. These other ones, we could have a look at the last one. I won't have the sound going. He's got no closed captions, so it must be pretty new. So what are we looking at? Could it be a meteorite or some from the surface, like a volcano? Some smoke? Doesn't look like it's a camera artifact because it's on multiple images. Mars. Don't know. Not much you can tell by that.
No.
Looks like a contrail from
vague.
Could be a fire on Mars, like a volcano. Or it could be a streak from a meteorite burning up in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
How much atmosphere does Mars have? Let's find out.
I think it does have a little atmosphere, but it's not very much.
I'm not sure if stuff can burn up. Yeah. So here we got some charts. A bit small to read. Mostly of carbon dioxide. Atmospheric pressure on Martian surface averages 600 pascals, about 0.6% of the Earth's mean sea level pressure. So what does that mean?
0.6. Means there's not much atmosphere there at all, yeah. What's the atmosphere of Mars compared to Earth? Have a look at that.
What's that?
That one.
That's what we just read, wasn't it? Earth's atmosphere is primarily composed of nitrogen and oxygen. Mars is 2% argon, 2% nitrogen, with traces of oxygen and water. What we want to know is,
is there anything that could cause it to burn up?
Meteors burn up. See if we can find an answer. Martian sky went metal after meteorite strikes. I thought it's mental for starters. How do meteorites burn up in Metasphere? Mars hit by space rock 200 times a year. Space rocks burn up in Earth's atmosphere, never making it to the ground, but can they do damage on Mars? So let's have a look at that one. Who's on the site? Is that Renee? Renee, how are they going to make artificial moon float? We were just saying that before. Could be helium, I guess, or solar batteries with maybe propellers, keep it up there. Or it could be.
Don't see why it's not possible anyway.
Yeah, it'd be a combination, I'd say. It'd probably be helium and propellers powered by solar. And it'd probably have a tether to the ground, or big ones anyway. So what they're saying about the atmosphere, we want to know if it burns up. Space rocks carving fresh craters on Martian surface more often than previously thought. New study finds there are more than 200 asteroid impacts on the red planet every year. These asteroids and comet fragments are usually no bigger than 3 to 6 feet, about 10 times smaller than the meteorite that exploded over, how do you say that one, Shabissk, Russia. Space rocks burn up in Earth's atmosphere, never making it to the ground, but can they do damage on Mars because the planet has a much thinner atmosphere? The holes gauged out by these asteroids are typically at least 12 feet wide, and top researchers say 200 per year space rock impact rate for Mars was based on a portion of the 248 new Martian craters that have been identified in the past decade.
It would cause dust to fly up, though, wouldn't it?
Well, there's a picture of some impacts. That looks definitely fresh. It's exciting to find new craters right after they form. Study researcher Ingrid, blah, 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 Arizona. Reminds you Mars is an active planet and we can study processes that are happening today. So that must be from their regular satellite that's orbiting Mars, is it? Credit JetPL and NASA. So they must have something still orbiting, taking pictures and sending it back.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Not more than one.
But looks to me that they didn't burn up. They actually made big craters.
Yeah.
But that would, if it hit the ground, if it's big enough, it would cause a plume of dust and smoke to go up in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So that could explain what we're seeing.
Atmosphere to stop it. Yeah, it
That's
could well be.
Here.
Yeah. Dust cloud.
It could easily be.
From the impact.
But I don't know. I haven't. We haven't actually
completely wrong,
researched
but
this
there we
one.
go.
Have we got any information on it? ESA images, NASA images. Has anyone said anything about it? So they're saying Volcano, which is what I said.
Yeah, you did say that, yeah. We know there's volcanoes on Mars, don't we? So, what's that water vaporizing in atmospheres? It escapes underground. No, there's another.
Well, it's possible.
Another plausible.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah,
you think the they'd have better images. But you've got to remember, how many years does it take for the satellite to orbit, get there to orbit? It's going to use old camera technology. You know, it's not going to be good at what we got at the moment.
Yeah, that's right.
So
yeah, cool.
People forget that. They got to send another probe with the latest technology to get even better HD images.
Yeah, yeah. Mm.
I think they'll be using that new titanium rods lens, which doesn't use glass, and it gets better clarity images. I think they'll be going to that. And I bet they're using Sony's new Starlight sensor as well. They'll be using all the latest technology next time they send out something. So, looks like he's talking about it. Is it a volcano? Volcanic province, it says. So is it now active again? Is that what they're saying?
Mm.
Looks like it's coming from that one. There it is there.
Yeah.
So that's what I said, first of all, volcano. And I haven't actually listened to the video. Well, no. Now it's going conspiracy. He's made a pattern out between all the volcanoes. There we go. It forms a triangle. Oh no. It's comparing it to Mars tomb now and Egyptian tomb. And now he's going right into conspiracies. So it started off good. And now it's gone crazy. Oh well. Does look like it's coming from the surface on that image. So that's what happened, is it? Let's do a search. And we still got Renee with us here. Keep bringing up different things here. Elon Musk and Joe Rogan having another session. That means smoking weed. Well, he might cause a share crash if he does. Mars volcanic. Okay. Let's see what comes up. The tallest volcano on Mars, Olympus Mons, is 550 kilometers across and 21 kilometers high, and that's a big volcano. It's nearly 100 times greater in volume than, oh god, Moolua in Hawaii, the largest shield volcano on Earth. So that is quite big.
Jesus, what's that, 15 miles high?
21, it says here.
No, kilometers, that is, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. Americans use miles, we don't. So, past 24 hours, let's see what happens. Media science, that's probably where Tyler's got it from Reddit. So let's have a look. Oh, they got no image. One of the major volcanoes on Mars is erupting and has been since mid-September. There hasn't been a peep about it. There's image on the ESA Mars webcam. The image is here. The plume appears to cast a shadow and is located near Mount Olympus. So that's where Tyler's got it from. He probably checks Reddit and Daily Mail and all those every day to make a story up.
Yeah.
There hasn't been, so someone's actually posted a link saying that's not true, I guess. Let's have a look. They have posted a link about it. It's just that our mainstream is crazy about Trump, anti-Trump. So that was published 3 years ago. Evidence for recent. So that's not the current one. Very strange. So that was the last time they talked about it. NASA's photos from the same exact date and time show absolutely nothing. Oh, that's interesting. Where do you find these? So maybe it's a CGI job. Interesting. Increased volcanic activity is expected on Mars. Probably have to see what the other debunkers say that are experts on all this over the week. There's no doubt they're looking into it now, probably.
Sure.
It's probably from a movie. Mars Attacks. Dust cloud. NASA. Photos from the same exact period and date show absolutely nothing. In fact, the visibility on this particular area is obstructed by dust clouds. It's been on ESA's webcams for about 1 month. So it's very odd to be just hearing about it. So that's kind of suspicious. So did Tyler say? So let's have a look. That's if they've taken it down. So where's the stuff?
Yeah.
It's gone.
Latest news.
Yeah, but that's meant to be linking to the article, I thought.
Yeah. I know, yeah.
Try that one. So there's the images, and it's on Flickr. Is it their official site? I guess. Looks kind of official. But it says EESA. Pro joined. Is that the date? That's from 20. Does that mean it's from
metadata? Oh, right.
22nd of July 2012? So it's not recent then.
Oh.
There we go.
Yeah, you're right. It's exactly what it is. Yeah, 22nd. Yeah.
VMC image acquired on 2010-2018. But it doesn't sort of match the number there. That
No, it doesn't. No.
That looks like the date and time.
22nd of the 7th. Yeah.
Credit to Space Agency, Creative Commons. So let's open that one. It's got a load of gobbledygook. So does look like it's coming from the volcano. So we don't know if they're legit or not, because I'm not sure. Ah, right. This one's got 7/20/35. So that's the date, the second number. What's the first one? Altitude of 8586. So it's got no date stamp. Oh, right, that could be the year number, 2018. What's the other three numbers?
Can't be 20 to 7:35, can it? Oh no, what's that underneath? Acquired on
29th of the 1st, 2018. I don't know.
it's a strange date configuration.
Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't say. Comes from there, they said. Credit, agents, Creative Commons. Could someone sort of made a computer representation of what it would look like for a presentation, and someone's just picked it up from this Creative Commons graphics site. I don't know. It may not be. It might be CGI for, you know, illegal CGI, not illegal CGI for a presentation.
Yeah.
If people are saying
It's just been stolen and
not stolen, it may be
not
just
stolen.
used for a presentation.
Yeah.
To show what they meant about what to see if the volcano was erupting. I don't know. But it does seem to like have a stamp here. Does it look like it's from a webcam? A ping?
I don't know. It just looks like metadata to me. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be from any source. There hasn't been any volcanic activity on Mars for over 500 million years, so this would be a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
NASA begs to differ. Okay. So what's this one here? That looks like it might be current. Let's have a look. Geohack. What's that? What's that site? So Wikipedia thing. So that's the volcano there. So that one didn't help us out. So what else we got? So I don't know. I got. He thinks it's signaling the alien false flag. Mars attacks. So we ain't got any sense here. Apart from one person. So let's go back. Yeah, I don't know. No, that's not on the dark side of the moon. Oh, what are you talking about above? Military official recently came out and said he has seen pictures of military moon base. Well, that means China would know about it.
Yeah.
I think that's unlikely. If there is a moon base, it would be underground, so you can't see it. Just like UFOs would be under the sea or in a hidden mountain base of some sort. Just like they used to do in World War II with the submarines and all those Nazi underground buildings. What's it called? Olympus. Can you spell it? Doesn't seem to be much on it.
No.
So EESA. Let's search on that. European Space Agency. So what's the E in front, the extra E in front then?
Don't know.
I don't know either. See, it's got the extra E in front. Which means it could be something different to what they're thinking it is. Even though it's got ESA there. Let's do a search on that. Nothing. Nothing found.
No.
And webcam. Let's have a see if there's a current webcam of it, because that would make sense. They won't be able to cover up a real-time webcam. If I'd have to pay to get access, maybe.
No, that's a point.
Mars webcam. Logs ESA. Duct archive. And there's the Flickr one. Is that the same one we're looking at, though?
I think it
That's
is, yeah, because you can see you've been on that page before.
Yep. That's what it comes up with. So it's definitely that one. Looks like I've got a Twitter account. ESA Mars webcam. So where's the real time? It's got E in front here. So it sort of checks out. But I haven't found where it's live. Creative Commons. So that sort of adds up. Flickr. So they archive them up there. Maybe the media hasn't picked up on it yet. What was the date? 20th of the 10th. Couple of days old. Well, 1 day old if it's America.
Oh, yeah, it's only the 22nd now, so
maybe
Americans are behind us.
Maybe it hasn't been talked about yet.
No, maybe
so
not.
That could be real. We are back. And there's the satellite that takes the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the quality is not so good. I gotta warm it up. Okay. Well, it sort of does look like it could be legit. Let's have a look on their Twitter.
Have you might maybe try Snoops.
And there it is there. It's definitely on their webpage too, on their Twitter page.
Yeah. Do you want to try Snoops?
What's that? Snoops. Rings a bell.
Yeah. Just type it into the browser and it debunks all.
Oh, that Snoops. All right.
Yeah.
So could it be just a thin cloud? Because they don't seem to be commenting much on it. One comment.
Yeah.
Comment on that. Is that the same volcano? It looks like 1, 2, 3. That's got 7 comments, so that's 17.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Do you know what the light flare is from? It looks like a plume of smoke from a rug. There we go. We might have some experts. That cloud of fume, it has been present for almost a month.
Mm-hmm.
So he's asking if it's Volcano. ESA, can you reply to us? First evidence of currently active volcanism on Mars. Explain it, please. This is not a cloud. That's what I just said. Could be a cloud. What is this white cloud? Ice? Volcano? So we're going to have to wait for other people. What's Renee saying? Animals have been filmed on Mars. Okay, and you can go and capture them and prove. Could it be a ice cap? Could be. It's going to be something obvious. The thing is, if it was a volcano smoke, it would be black, not white. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Have we ever had white plumes on Earth? I don't know. Unless it's water vapor, but there's no water there. If it's a volcano in the sea, white plume. Volcano. Got some images. Definitely you get white plumes, but it has to have water, I'm sure. So, white plume volcano, what causes it? It'd have to be water vapor, I'm pretty sure. And that tells us. Well, Iceland's full of water and ice.
No, Snopes hasn't caught up with it yet either. It does mention, though, hairy spider monkey found on Mars.
Has it got a link?
Oh, yeah.
That's been debunked, I guess.
I certainly hope so. It's just a run-of-the-mill Mars rock. It's a stone, boys.
Oh, here we go. Hawaii.
Yeah, it's got a big false.
Volcanic gas hazards. So let's have a look at volcano. Well, that looks like black plumes to me. Volcanic gas emissions are composed mainly of water vapor. So that's the white carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide. Gas trace amounts for several other gases, compounds, including hydrogen sulfide, hydrogen fluoride, carbon monoxide, typical gas emission rates. So it's got to be steam if it's white, then there you go, white. Rupton vent. Doesn't say what the gas is. But it did say mainly water vapor. So if that was a volcano erupting with a white thing, that would prove there's water.
Yeah, I mean, if there was volcanic activity on Mars, I don't really see where they should be hiding it from us. And it would
Yes.
be, as you said, it'd be pretty big news, wouldn't it?
Hmm. Well, we'll probably find out more about this now. People brought tension on security.
Yeah, you will.
Because the other debunkers will be looking at it.
What's security team claim it is again? Or suggesting it is?
Volcano. But if you have a close look, it doesn't look like it's coming from the center of the volcano. There's the center.
No, it's just ski width, isn't it? It's a bit off.
Yeah, it's at the edge.
It's not CGI, is it?
It almost looks like it could be an ice streak to me. Looking at it closer there.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
If we could get the original photographs, can we zoom in? How much zoom in? Oh, we can't zoom in very much.
No.
So this
it's not bad.
how do we download it? Where's the download there? Let's download it and let's have a look ourselves. Now what's it saying? Got to pick a size. Okay, original. So the camera on it only does 480p, so it's a pretty old technology.
Yeah.
But that's what I was saying. 480p sounds like a few old phone camera technology that they probably had. I think my old camera from 98 went up to only 480p. So is that when the satellite was sent up? Maybe. I'm not sure what the name of the satellite is.
No, not me. Not up to date on them.
Probably it'll be there somewhere, probably on their webpage, what it's called. And then you better search on it and see when it was launched. But anyway, that's another time. So here's a close-up of one. It looks like a smoky cloud there rather than a streak.
Could be water vapor.
Could be a cloud above.
Yeah.
That one does look like it's coming from a volcano.
It's pixelated now as well, so.
Yeah, because it's Microsoft's cheap zoom in one. Doesn't use the algorithm. I'd have to try let's see. That what's it called? Stone something. Fast stone. So if I put it into that. Fast stone. There we go. Okay. Almost forgotten how to use it. Soon. 900%. Oh.
No, ouch.
Okay. So it's not pixelated
Oh.
now, but it does look like a cloud of water vapor.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's at the edge of the volcano.
Yeah, at the very edge, yeah.
And that looks like a mound. That doesn't look like the same. So what was happening, that was connecting up with this over here, making it look like a long smoke cloud.
Yeah, yeah, giving the impression it was bigger than what it actually was.
So let's have a look at the photographs. How do I get out that? So which ones have we got? That might be good on that one. Oh, overexposed on that one. Here we go. See, it looks like it's joined onto that bit, which looks like some mountain range on the surface. But we don't know how many minutes apart are they. We don't know. Looks like it's changing as it's getting darker and lighter as the sun's lighting it. So you can't see on the exposed ones. Yeah, it looks like an optical illusion. Could it just be ice on the ground? Anyway, we'll see what the experts come up with.
Yeah, only a matter of time.
We'll keep our eyes open on that one.
Yeah.
I think it might be just a little cloud in the atmosphere that happens to be just over the volcano. It looks like it's erupting, and that band looks like it was on the ground, like it's always there.
Yeah, there was some protrusion there, wasn't there? It was raised, just a natural feature.
See, that one looks like it could be ice cap or cloud.
Yeah,
looks very similar to what we were
Ice
just
cap.
looking at.
Yeah,
Definitely looks like a whispery edge to it.
does, yeah.
And have we got the volcanoes on this one? I don't know. Is that one? 1, 2, 3. Must be rotating. Yeah, I think it's probably could be ice on the side of the volcano or a cloud. Anyway, enough on that one. We got sidetracked on it. Let's see if we can find out when the satellite was launched while we're looking.
Yeah, I know.
Satellites. It launched. It's got put map instead of Mars. R key and S key are not working. Why Colombo is Europeans' first mission to Mercury? That's not what we're after. So they're talking about launching a satellite to Mercury. We're trying to find out the Mars one. Mercury lifts off. So that must have happened today, or yesterday. So there's a new satellite going up.
Thing is, all the satellites, they say satellites, they won't be really. And we don't know which one we're getting the pictures from, do we? For sure. All of the pictures. Mm.
7 years. So what's it say? DP Colombo is a joint mission by ESA Japan to the planet Mercury, which was launched today. The mission comprises 2 satellites launched together. So that means they'll be getting stereo images of it? Don't know. But we're interested in the Mars one. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. You can spend ages researching. Hang on, what's this one? That's future flybys. Looks like we need to put Mars in, probably.
Yeah, you're right. There's one there that's en route. Due to land on the 26th of next month.
Look like it's going to be in orbit, but it probably
That's a lander.
probe down.
That's a lander.
Orbiter.
Whoa, 2016, 2013, 2013. There's 3 of them in 2011, then 2007, dating right back to, and these are all the different countries as well, dating right back to 1960, I think. Yeah, 1960, Soviet flyby. Oh, launch failure, sorry. Fact, an awful lot of these have failed. You there, Paul?
Yep, still here. Still trying to figure out what this satellite name is. It's probably staring me in the face and I've just gone past it. Well, it was on the image name or something crazy.
Yeah. There's I've got 2 ESA ones here, yeah? There's the
That
Mars
was launched.
Express, yeah?
That was launched today. The Mercury.
No,
was.
no. The Mars Express was launched in 2003. That's at European Space Agency, yeah?
That fits what I was
And
saying, that my camera was 48p, and that was
yeah,
1998.
that's right. Yeah, there was also the Beagle 2, which was launched in 2003 as well. Oh, that was a lander, sorry, and it failed. But the Mars Express was an orbiter, and that's operational, still operational.
Okay, that sounds like the one then.
Yeah,
by the sounds
because
of it.
there's no
So
other ESA ones. No, that's
So-
it.
So
That's
we're
got to
talking
be
about
your one.
20. We're talking about 20-year-old camera technology. That's why it's not so good.
Yeah,
It's not like you can send up a robot and say, flip out the camera for a new one. I suppose you could if you make it.
right. Yeah, 2003. It's 15 years old.
Yeah, and people are complaining it's not HD. You know, the Generation M's and Z's online.
Uh-huh.
So I suppose we should start wrapping it up here. We sort of looked at different things.
Yeah, that's
I was going to
interesting.
do
though.
some UFO stalker, but this was really a test run, seeing
Yeah,
how you
see how
go
it
on the
comes
side.
out.
We don't know how it's recorded. It might be a load of rubbish.
That's what I mean.
It may be all
I
crackly,
don't know.
or too loud, or too quiet.
But we've had a few people listen in. I suppose if it was really that bad, they'd have gotten out fairly quickly.
No one's given us a thumb up, so I don't know.
Okay.
Normally you get 1 or 2 thumb ups during the stream. Maybe they didn't like what we were talking about tonight.
Never mind.
So third phase, we'll just have a quick look, and then we'll just wrap it up. I think. What's the time?
Okay.
1:30 a.m. And straight away we're straight onto Dr. Greer and the Paris one, which we're sort of covered. So
Right.
I don't trust anything that comes out of Greer's mouth.
No.
So
Okay. Oh.
So there's not really much happening apart from that Mars stuff. So, but anyway, I'm going to wrap up now because I need to finish up and get a drink and go to toilet. And
Okay, Paul.
we'll try doing another live sometime, maybe next Sunday. Maybe have some more material that we can cover.
Yeah.
But I normally do a midweek one. So
Yeah.
if you're about, I guess. But the thing is,
Yeah,
you
I'm
can join
sure
any
we'll-
time now.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I know how to do it.
But we have to see how well this one come out first. I think it's okay. But
Yeah.
remember, it was looking all right to us. But if you go to YouTube, it was all corrupted screen.
Dear.
When we did the test last night. So hopefully it's not doing that tonight. So I'm just
Okay.
going to one down my thing. So we might do another live Wednesday or Thursday, I guess. And hopefully I'll go through UFO Stalker and just have a look around doing that. And yeah, see you again, Renee. Give us a thumbs up. I guess
Bye,
it
listeners.
sounds all right because Renee's on, so Renee hasn't said
Yeah.
it's all corrupted or it's rubbish or whatever.
No, somebody would, more than likely.
Yeah. So let's try this in credits, and I'll catch these guys in the midweek, Wednesday or Thursday. And and hopefully the volume's right.